Of course, the digital transformation is an ongoing journey that requires strong strategy. And to present to us, please welcome Joseph Mutua, Senior Solutions Architect at Amazon Web Services.
A big thank you to CI Africa for organizing this event and inviting us. My name is Joseph Mutua, Solutions Architect at Amazon Web Services, covering Sub-Saharan Africa. And today I'll be taking you through a session on choosing the right cloud for your digital transformation journey. So before we can get on how to choose the right cloud for your digital transformation, I believe it's important for us to first understand what cloud computing is. The term cloud computing refers to the on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. So instead of buying, owning, and maintaining your own data centers and servers, organizations can acquire technology such as compute power, storage, databases, and other services on a need-be basis. You can think of it being similar to how consumers flip a switch to turn on the lights in the houses, and the power company sends electricity. That said, with cloud computing at AWS, we manage and maintain the technology infrastructure in a secure environment, and businesses are then able to access these resources via the internet to develop and run their applications. So, dependent on your business needs, your capacity can grow or shrink instantly. And as a business, you then only pay for what you have used. So if you think about it, in traditional, on-premises IT environment, all the physical components required to run the business systems were owned, operated, maintained, and housed by the company. And a user would then have to connect and log on to the corporate network and access resources that way. This would include, corporate applications, file sharing, and storage. However, in the cloud provides access to the same or similar resources through the internet. So as hosted by cloud services platform, and the term itself comes from a time when internet resources or connectivity was often represented by a cloud, in diagrams that illustrated connectivity and data flow. So with the adoption of cloud computing at scale and globally, three main cloud models have appeared. And this is what we see from AWS. And in this case, it's private, public, and hybrid clouds. And in the next couple of minutes, we will explore a few considerations to make before you select a cloud for your digital transformation journey. So let's begin by looking at what you would then need to consider if you are to select private cloud. As the name suggests, this is cloud infrastructure for use exclusively by a single organization. The cloud is owned and managed and operated exclusively by the organization or by a third-party vendor, or in some cases, both. In this cloud model, the infrastructure is provisioned on premises using virtualization layers. And in this case, you can think about an example like VMware. And in most cases, this particular deployment model is the same as legacy IT infrastructure, while using application management and virtualization technologies to try and increase your resource, and in this case, your compute resource utilization. So, if you're looking for greater configurability support for any, business application and support for those, applications that are legacy, that suffer from, performance issues in the public cloud, then private cloud environments make sense and are applicable in this case. However, it will be important to note that on-premise deployments do not provide many of the benefits of cloud computing, but they are sometimes sought for the ability to provide dedicated resources. So while private cloud offers the greatest level of control and security, it demands that as an organization you maintain the entire infrastructure and acquire and retain as well to do so, right? So this actually makes private cloud options significantly more expensive and should be factored in before you as an organization settling and deciding to go with it as your cloud model. So with that said, of course, choosing a private cloud would make sense if, for example, you're an organization that is highly regulated you need data hosted privately and securely, which might, need very strict security controls, very, little latency numbers, regulatory and data privacy levels not met by public cloud. So private cloud also makes sense if you're an organization with applications that need high performance access to a file system, such as media companies, as well as applications that have predictable usage patterns with a demand for low storage costs. And finally, as an organization, if you have got demands for great adaptability, low-level configurability access, as well as flexibility for your business-critical, data and applications, then you could consider private cloud. On the other side of private cloud is public cloud, and for this, at AWS, we like to look at it from a point of, if you are looking to take advantage of the full benefits of cloud computing, then public cloud is the answer. And this is because with cloud-based applications, and in this case, cloud-based applications built in public cloud, these are actually built on low-level infrastructure pieces and can use high-level services that provide abstraction from the low-level management, architecting, and scaling requirements of core infrastructure that is required to power business applications. And in the public cloud space, at AWS, we provide services such as Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon Relational Database Services, which makes it easy to set up and operate at scale compute as well as relational databases in the cloud. We also provide services like Amazon S3, which is an object store service that allows you to store data as objects in the cloud. So this particular infrastructure and services are actually provided over the public internet and are hosted at an identified AWS region. And AWS will enable you to select from 25 different AWS regions on where you as a business owner or an application owner can host your application or service. And then you're able to use those services anytime, anywhere as you need. So, just taking a few steps back, if thinking about what actually happens in the private cloud, in this case, if your workload is not bound by the restrictions of the private cloud and are looking for low cost ownership, automated deployments, scalability, security, recovery, reliability, then the AWS public cloud is able to provide and meet your requirements. And some of the workloads that we see in the public cloud and that we see well suited for the public cloud, they include actually and are not limited to low latency requiring applications, applications that are intolerant and that are mission critical, to the organizations, as well as applications that have got on-demand requirements for compute resources. Which then require you to do a bit of scaling in and out, in this case some elasticity to some level, as well as the ability to auto scale so that you can handle load when it comes to your business application. And we also see data storage as well as data archival use cases as also potential candidates for AWS public cloud. Then, we've spoken about private cloud, we've spoken about public cloud, but what if, the two models do not work for you and you're thinking about another option still that is able to address your business needs? Then, in this case, we have what we call the hybrid cloud. And at AWS specifically, we think of hybrid infrastructure as including the cloud along with other edge nodes. So, on-premise data centers being one of them. And the way that customers have told us that they want to consume, the hybrid offering is with similar APIs, same control planes, same tools, and the same hardware that they are used to using in, for example, AWS regions. And when an organization wants to leverage the cloud both for efficiency, cost savings, but also wants on privacy and control, it looks to the hybrid cloud. So if those are your requirements, then hybrid cloud makes sense. So which almost serves as a midway point between the public and the private cloud. And the hybrid cloud actually uses a combination of at least one private and one public cloud. and can also consist of, multiple private and public clouds, and may use, many active servers, physical or virtualized, which are not part of the same private cloud. So, with hybrid cloud, we see organizations being able to, keep each business aspect in the most, efficient cloud format possible. However, with hybrid cloud, as an organization, then you have to, manage multiple security platforms and aspects, also other aspects to also ensure that all the cloud properties can communicate seamlessly with one another. So, from a use case perspective, we see hybrid cloud being considered by, large organizations that want flexibility and scalability as offered by the public cloud, as well as organizations that offer, services for specific vertical markets. And in this case, I'm thinking oil and gas, education, we're thinking about industry, telecommunication. So, for these customers, the customer interactions can be hosted in the public cloud, while any sensitive company data can be hosted in the private cloud. We also see, hybrid cloud for being used for organizations that, demand greater operational flexibility and scalability. And for them, mission critical data can be hosted on the private cloud, and application development and testing can take place in the public cloud. So just to touch a little bit on what we see, and at AWS, we have experience with hybrid cloud architectures, and we enable customers to continue to use their on-premises investments while getting the full benefits of the cloud. So, AWS provides you with a set of capabilities, hybrid capabilities that enables you to have networking, data access, management, and application services. And, we have the likes of VMware Cloud on AWS, which allows customers to seamlessly, run existing VMware workloads on AWS with the skills and tool sets they already have without additional hardware investment. We also, have AWS Outposts, which actually brings, native AWS services and infrastructure and operating models to virtually any data center, co-location space, or on-premise facility. And you can use the same APIs, the same tools, the same hardware, and the same functionality across on-premises and the cloud to deliver a truly consistent hybrid experience. So, given today's dynamic and increasing complex business environment, organizations have to, constantly reevaluate their cloud infrastructure and their requirements, and whether public, private, or hybrid, for you to ensure that the cloud actually delivers results. Because there are different security, and management demands for each of these cloud models, organizations really, must ensure that they select their application candidates for the cloud wisely, so that, they can actually foster innovation and improve agility by leveraging their IT resources optimally. So thank you very much for your time. Feel free to reach out to me and the AWS team here today. We are more than happy to connect with you and engage on how we can support you in leveraging the cloud in your digital transformation journey. And thank you very much for your time.